Hey collectors, welcome to Star Wars Collected. I'm Jonathan. Guys, I just finished Book of Boba Fett, episode 3. I try to avoid spoilers as much as I can as I go throughout the day, and I try to watch it at home in the evening, big screen, good speakers, things like that. But I did catch a little bit of buzz online before this episode, and people seemed overall pretty disappointed with it. And I think it's a real mixed bag. I love that we are limiting how much flashbacks we're doing now, because as interesting as that story has been, and as cool as the last episode was, I really want to see what's going on in the modern day. So I like that. And there were just a lot of really cool parts, so I might forget some things, but I love that Chris Hansen shows up again and is formidable. He kicks some butt. I mean, he was way outnumbered, and he held his own. They were stabbing him and shooting him and all these things, and he just kept going. So I love that. I didn't want to see him be a weakling. So that was really cool. Danny Trejo showing up, which is could be expected. Of course, he would show up in something like this when you consider who is kind of show running Book of Boba Fett. Rodriguez throws him in a lot of things, but for him to be a Rancor keeper, that seems kind of fitting, and for us to see another Rancor. This one, I think he said it was a juvenile, so maybe it's not quite as big as what we saw in Return of the Jedi as I look at that over here, but it wasn't Moochie's size either, so somewhere between. Seems like maybe Danny Trejo is trying to get Boba Fett to be eaten by him or something. I don't know, a little ulterior motive there, something like that. So those two things were really cool. Pikes being kind of identified as the big bad here. It's interesting. We saw Pikes a lot in the flashbacks on the last episode, and now to see them in the present day and to hear that the mayor is working with the Pikes, that is very interesting information. So, a lot of people thought early on maybe we'd see Black Sun, maybe we would see Crimson Dawn, or Kira maybe specifically. But if it's the Pikes, it's the Pikes, and that's cool too. Pikes have always made a good bad when we were in the Clone Wars. So that is nice to see that information established and move forward. It was cool to see the Hutts again. I love seeing the Hutts. So I loved all of those parts. And Boba Fett used his jetpack, which was great. But this biker gang, man, that's weird. Why did they ride like Vespas? They're so multicolored, kind of like the Power Rangers, I think, had multicolored motorcycles, and there were even little funky mirrors on the ones. I don't know. That's weird. I didn't love that. I don't hate the idea of Boba Fett identifying some people in Mos Espa, and I'm a big advocate of the working man and fighting against the man. So I don't mind that storyline of big business hiking the price of water to a place where people can't afford it and they can't find work. So I appreciate all that part. But the little biker scooter gang seems kind of comical, and I just really do not like their bikes. It was fun to go through the streets of Mos Espa and to see a couple different droids and aliens and things that maybe we are used to seeing, but we don't see them a lot. So I think that was all cool, and it wasn't a terrible chase scene from the standpoint of the mayor's assistant and the streets and stuff like that. But anytime they cut back to the scooter gang, I wasn't loving that part. So that would be my biggest criticism. One thing happened that I think a lot of us thought would happen, that the Sand People tribe that Boba Fett was living with were all murdered. And that's sad and unfortunate, and obviously that was a big point of growth and maybe spiritual awakening within the character of Boba Fett. Not completely unexpected. I don't know if I necessarily expected it to be that biker gang, but maybe that is payback for what he did at Tashi Station. They traced it back to him. I'm not sure. So into collectibles. So he was riding that bantha for a long time through the desert, and it got me thinking, would Hot Toys or Sideshow make a Bantha? It's possible. You know, Hot Toys made a Blurg from The Mandalorian, so they have a recent record of making a creature. So I don't know. You know, now that the Tusken Raiders seem like they're mostly out of the story, at least for right now, maybe that's less likely, but that just occurred to me while I was watching the episode. I would definitely not be interested in any of the scooters, and this gang's got a lot of growth to do to get on me. Chrysanthemum, who they just call Chrysanthemum, but you know, it could be Black Chrysanthemum, I'm not sure. I'm just more in love with that character as far as how they looked and how he performed as a, you know, formidable force. So I think a hot toy of Chrysanthemum, I'm like sold on that. I think that would be great. You know, we see more and more of the Gamorreans, so I'm more convinced now that we could see a Gamorrean guard down the line from Hot Toys or something of that nature too. So you know, the Syndicate coming in, that I think also leads to thinking that maybe we'll get a Pike Hot Toy. You know, I don't love this look as much as I loved what it looked like in Solo. They keep kind of changing it. To me, this just looks much more helmeted, where the other one looked much more like a environmentally sealed type of mask and something of that nature. So I kind of, you know, if they were going to make a Hot Toy of one or the other, I kind of would have preferred they did one from Solo. But other than that, you know, I didn't really see anything else that stood out. The vehicle design, you know, there's a speeder and things like that, and maybe Hasbro will make a speeder, and maybe Hasbro will make their little scooters, and the little kids can scoot their little scooters all around the city. But I don't think any of us are super sold on that. So very mixed bag episode. I would say overall I enjoyed it, but there were some just really goofy red flags in there too. You know, Rodriguez has a history of doing some very kind of like hardcore movies and then doing kid movies. So when I think of Robert Rodriguez, I think of studying him in film school, and then I think of you know, those harder hitting movies. So, you know, those little scooters, a little more Spy Kids or Lava Girl or whatever, where I want to stick more with the gritty side of him. So hop down in the comments below. Let me know if any collectibles and any must-have collectibles are standing out to you, things that you would like to see. Also, feel free to leave me your opinions on this episode. Where do you think we're going? Did you like that there were less flashbacks? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. See ya.